adventure. Harrison Ford. Kate Capshaw, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 8:30, 7:30 Central, Sunday.
Straight ahead on Eyewitness News, police search for a hit-and-run driver who killed a young man in Brooklyn Park. I'm Lou Harvin. I'll have that story.
People in Richfield pray for peace and the family of Charlie Turner, killed in Operation Desert Storm. And in South Carolina, a presidential pat on the back for troops home from the Middle East. He says they saved Kuwait and America. Plus a vote that could make or break Mikhail Gorbachev. Please join us for Eyewitness News coming up next.
Pearls on.
Yeah, gotta look good.
Bad. Fresh. Younger. Older.
She showed me a gazillion different frames.
Have you got your pearls on?
Those are definitely pearls.
Definitely pearls.
Bought one pair with a coupon and they gave me a second pair.
Promised they'd be perfect. Guaranteed it.
Why just wear glasses when you can put on pearls?
I mean, I gotta look good.
Pearl and Pearl Vision Express for glasses in 1 hour. Call 1-800-YES-EYES for locations.
You should know that if you have an accident, it's your right to choose your own auto body repair facility. It's a law. No one can tell you where to have your vehicle repaired. So when looking for the right body shop, look for repair technicians that are ASE or ICAR certified. Ask if original equipment replacement parts will be used, and find out if the body shop gives written guarantees. Remember, you've paid for a quality repair. You might as well get what you paid for.
This message has been brought to you by the Automotive Service Association.
You're watching KSTP Channel 5, St. Paul, Minneapolis. Now, live from your 24-hour news channel, Stan Turner and the entire Eyewitness News team. This is Eyewitness News.
And good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Police are tracking down the driver who hit and killed a young man early today, then drove off. They hope the public can help in their search. Lou Harvin's been checking on the story and joins us now from the control center. Lou?
Stan, police tonight have a few leads, but what they need most right now is to hear from any eyewitnesses who may have been in the area. The hit and run happened in Brooklyn Park shortly before 3 this morning, and chances are somebody saw it.
Yeah, that's where the body was found.
Dave Johnson of the Brooklyn Park Police Department showed me the area where 20-year-old Robert Brian Seholt was hit last night. A yellow police outline shows the exact area where his body was found. This is Highway 252, about a half-mile north of 85th in Brooklyn Park.
That's where the striking vehicle ended up. It appeared that it slid sideways and came to rest in the center of the median with its front facing directly into the highway. And then at that time, after coming to rest, put it back into gear and took off.
Police have no idea where Seholt was going at 3 this morning. Johnson worked as a carpet installer. His father told me he was a very nice kid. The problem now, who killed him and why didn't they stop? Johnson says there's no doubt in his mind the driver knew they hit someone.
It would have been very difficult not to know that they hit something and not to be able to look back. As you can see, we're talking of a distance of about 80 feet. Even though the conditions were foggy and such, it would have been pretty difficult to believe that somebody couldn't look back and see what they had struck.
Police have been able to recover a few pieces of the car they say hit Seholt. It's described as a late 70s model car, possibly a Chevy Monte Carlo. It's black, and there will be damage to the front grille and the windshield.
Now, police know the chance of an eyewitness being in the area at 3 this morning is remote, but what they want most is for all of us to be on the alert. If you see or know someone whose car looks like it's just been in an accident, just like the one we described, then the police would like to hear from you. Stan?
All right, Lou, thank you. An autopsy shows that a Wabasha teenager who died during baseball practice suffered heart failure. 17-year-old Gregory Schmitz collapsed in the gym at Wabasha Kellogg High School Friday while completing a 5-minute run. Efforts to revive him at the scene failed, and he died later at a local hospital. His father, Leo Schmitz, says the autopsy revealed his son had developed an irregular heartbeat. It's been weeks since the ceasefire in the Gulf, but for a Richfield, Minnesota family, the war has just ended. Yesterday, the Navy confirmed the death of 29-year-old Charlie Turner. He'd been listed as missing in action since January the 18th. And as Inga Hammond tells us, today, family and friends sought strength through faith.
This morning in the United Methodist Church of Peace, the congregation sings of peace. But because there was war, those here lost a friend.
We would so hope that there would be a young family back together again, and that these last 8 weeks would soon be just a bad memory for all of us.
The Navy now confirms Turner was one of 2 flying his A-6 fighter plane when it went down over Kuwait the second day of the war. His body was among 13 Allied airmen Iraq turned over to the Red Cross this week. Those who knew Charlie O relieved he'll now be coming home, but not in the way any of them wanted to see. Lucia Lindahl taught Sunday school to Charlie when he was a child.
The whole church feels it very much. We're all very sad about it. It's just, we kept hoping. Even when I was gone for 2 weeks, I kept hoping and praying that he'd be back.
The pastor encourages his congregation to take comfort in the approaching religious holiday, one based on the belief of everlasting life.
Easter is coming, and we are an Easter people, a people of hope and faith and love and new life, eternal life.
In Richfield, Inga Hammond, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Charlie Turner leaves behind his wife Sharon and a 7-month-old son named Andrew. A funeral is planned for next Saturday at 10:30 at the United Methodist Church in Richfield. Well, happier moments today in Sumter, South Carolina, where the commander-in-chief is joining a homecoming celebration for the troops back from the Persian Gulf. This is the first time President Bush has welcomed home Desert Storm troops. He told them they not only helped liberate Kuwait, but helped America liberate itself from old ghosts and goblins.
And when you left, it was still fashionable to question America's decency, America's courage, America's resolve. And no one in the whole world doubts us anymore.
The president came to the celebration straight from Bermuda, where he met with British Prime Minister John Major about the crisis in the Middle East. Iraqi soldiers are also on their way home. Their story in today's other Mideast headlines. The Red Cross says 500 Iraqi soldiers captured by the Allies were put on buses bound for Baghdad. In Iraq, rebels claim government forces are using napalm to kill thousands of men, women, and children in southern Iraq. The government says hundreds are being killed in anti-Saddam riots. And Secretary of State Baker says the U.S. wants to see a change in the Iraqi government, but is not arming rebels trying to overthrow Saddam Hussein. World unity is the message today in Minneapolis, as members of the Jewish community invite others to join in on the religious ceremony of Seder. People of all races and religions, denominations listened to and learned about the Seder at the Temple Israel. The temple holds the celebration yearly to show how many religions overlap. And Eyewitness News will continue in just a moment.
Somehow the news is getting around about Dunkin' Donuts. My donut's coming up to 52 varieties with no cholesterol. My donuts are made with the finest ingredients and no cholesterol. My donuts are made fresh with no cholesterol. Dunkin' Donuts now up to 52 cholesterol-free varieties. Look who's here.
I want your donut.
Confused? Getting a divorce? Injured in an accident? Charged with DWI? Or just need some good legal help? Dial Lawyers. Dial Lawyers is a local company built around the idea that you deserve high-quality personal legal service you can afford. Dial Lawyers are accomplished professionals with years of experience working with legal problems like yours. Dial Lawyers. L-A-W-Y-E-R-S. Straight answers, sound advice.
The people who watch Heart of the Cities with Steve Hartman have only one thing in common, because they don't all come from the same part of town. They don't all like the same toys. Some are musically inclined, while others, well, Heart of the Cities fans are about as different as night and day, except for one special thing. Heart of the Cities with Steve Hartman, an upbeat and sometimes offbeat look at life in the Twin Cities. Now at 6 on Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
The word is getting around.
Minnesota is moving to Mitsubishi.
Richfield, White Bear, and Wayzata Mitsubishi.
Get around high car prices. Buy an Eclipse.
It's been on Car and Driver's 10 best list 3 years running.
And it starts at $11,202.
Thinking Camry or Accord?
Why? Galant starts at just $11,342.
Montero voted Best Buy by Car and Driver.
And perfect for a Minnesota winter.
Starts at just $15,832.
And now, with thousands in dealer cash incentives, it's the perfect time to make the move to Mitsubishi.
Richfield, White Bear, and Wayzata Mitsubishi.
We will learn more this week about that collision between two Northwest airliners in Detroit last December. You might recall 8 people died when a 727 and a DC-9 ran into each other on this Detroit runway. Tomorrow in Detroit, the National Transportation Safety Board will begin a public hearing on the crash. It's expected to last 3 days. The board will also release a cockpit voice recorder transcript and others related reports. In the Soviet Union today, a vote that could either give Mikhail Gorbachev more power or end in civil war. Citizens in 15 Soviet republics are responding to a referendum on Soviet unity. Should the republics stick together or go their own ways? President Gorbachev is predicting citizens will vote for unity. If that's how the vote goes, in fact, it could be because of vote fraud in several areas. Unity supporters are reportedly stuffing the ballot boxes and beating up some would-be voters. It could be a week before the final results are known on this. Now, in the last few weeks, we have seen citizens in the Baltic republics vote to leave the USSR, and thousands rally against Gorbachev. Our foreign affairs commentator, Stephen Young, joins us now from the control center. Steve, could the Soviet Union really be on the verge of civil war with this vote?
Well, I think it's possible, Stan. Not immediately, but down the road. The other example we should keep in mind is what is happening simultaneously in Yugoslavia, where the different republics there are on the verge of breaking up. The Soviet Union was put together basically by force, without the consent of all these different people. And now Gorbachev is giving them an opportunity to say whether they want to be led by the Russian Communist Party or go their own way.
Well, Steve, is it possible that Gorbachev could win the vote today, that is, get a vote for unity by his definition, yet still lose?
I think so in various ways, because, Stan, we need to recall that this is really the first opportunity that all the people in the Soviet Union have ever had to kind of get basically involved with the political process. And there's so much emotion going. Suppose Gorbachev wins with, say, 60% of the vote, with allegations of fraud, with 6 of the republics boycotting the election. His opponents are going to say he stole it. They're not going to just go and say, all right, Mikhail, you've got your way.
So what's the point of all this today, this vote, Steve? With 6 of the republics sitting out the election, what good is it?
Well, I think it's sort of almost a desperate attempt on Gorbachev's part to get some legitimacy for the centralized control of the whole Soviet Union, which Lenin set up and Stalin then perfected. But it's a day late and perhaps $1 short.
The bottom line seems to be Gorbachev's in trouble whichever way the vote goes.
That's my foreboding, yes.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Well, with all the St. Patrick's Day parades and the festivities yesterday, you might have forgotten that the holiday is actually today. But they did not forget in Chicago, where the city continued its tradition of dyeing the Chicago River green. And here's more Irish trivia to share with you today. St. Patrick originally came to Ireland as a slave in AD 432. He used the 3 leaves of the shamrock to teach the Irish about the Holy Trinity. The most common surname in Ireland is Murphy. The prefix Mac, as in Mac Murphy, means son of. O means grandson of. The Gaelic phrase Erin go bra means Ireland forever. And here's the longest geographical name in Ireland. No way I'm going to try and pronounce that. Forget it. But I will tell you it's in the county of Galway in the middle of Ireland. And we'll be back next with the forecast.
Grandpa, wake up, you gotta be dead.
When you come to South Dakota, plan to stay a while. There's so much to do. This is the land where Dances with Wolves was filmed. Come, experience Dakota, South Dakota.
I wish your grandma could be here.
This is LeSabre month at your better Buick dealer. Buick LeSabre, the most trouble-free American car and the best-selling full-size car in America. Right now, a huge LeSabre inventory means you get a deal so great, it's guaranteed to put you back in the market for a new car. And now, for a limited time, get up to $2,000 cash back direct from the factory on selected Buick models. But for the biggest savings and factory cash back, you must buy now. LeSabre month, on now at your better Buick dealer. Don't miss it.
See, I did a character on Saturday Night Live, you know. I did a whiner then. And I always thought, yeah, I'll work out, but I always made these excuses like, oh, it takes too long. I don't have the energy. I have to work tomorrow. Just get off your butt and get in the gym.
For total fitness, join U.S. Swim and Fitness now for just $99 for 1 year. Call 1-800-695-7777.
Sarafina. Sarafina, Broadway's remarkable hit musical based on the true story of the children of Soweto, South Africa. Sarafina. The New York Times called it a musical that throbs with the driving dance music of South Africa's black townships. Sarafina brings the raging pulse beat of apartheid's victims right into our laps. Don't miss Sarafina, April 2nd through the 7th at the Ordway. Call the Ordway for tickets today.
The longest geographical place name in Ireland. Mochana Gator Dahalia. What do you suppose the weather is right? You go ahead and say
Where is it?
Right here. Right
Oh, Macator Gadella Quilhai. You're better at that than I am.
How about
I'll say
Hopkins?
that. Hopkins I can do. Fridley I can handle. I can even handle Vadnais Heights or Edina.
Yep,
Some of the
okay.
easier ones
Nothing
I can handle.
Could be finer than to be in Edina. Okay.
That's true, too.
Check the tie.
Yeah, I got this. My folks gave me this, the St. Patrick's Day tie. Today, a little bit like Ireland, temperatures normally in Dublin this time of year are around 50 degrees with a lot of clouds and some occasional drizzle. Well, we got the clouds and the drizzle. We didn't quite make it to 50 degrees, but temperatures were still a few degrees above average. But check out this little take, looking at some of the wildlife, which we're beginning to see more and more of with the days getting longer. He's out checking out the ducks, the geese, and the squirrels out at Como Park today with temperatures up around 40 degrees and more of the same coming up tomorrow, and by Tuesday we could possibly be pressing 50 degrees. Currently outside though, cloudy skies, a little bit of fog, 39 degrees, relative humidity 82%. We have a north wind at 10 miles per hour and the barometric pressure 30.01 inches, and it's falling. Weather almanac, high temperature today 40 degrees, that's 3 degrees above average. How do you like that? 76 degrees in 1894, that certainly wouldn't be too hard to take. And the low temperature this morning was 34 degrees. Just a trace of drizzle during the day today, and the sun is going to set tomorrow at 6:21. Checking out radar, we do have a few light showers across the extreme southern metro from Farmington towards Northfield and then down towards Faribault. A few more light showers just north and west of Rochester. All of the activity is heading to the northeast, so we have an outside chance of seeing a brief shower, especially across the southern and eastern metro early tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be dry for the next couple of days before we turn wet again later during this upcoming week. Temperatures right now across the state, mainly the mid-30s to the lower 40s. Some of the warmer readings, 43 in Redwood Falls, 43 in Rochester, 34 in Duluth, and right now in Bemidji, a temperature of 36 degrees. Satellite view shows a couple of storm systems. This is the one that passed just to our south during the day today, bringing rain to much of Iowa and perhaps some snow, especially across northern Wisconsin tonight. The storm system right now is right about there, and another pretty powerful storm is just off the California coast. We're going to watch both of these systems move to the east. Now, this one is going to move out of the picture, and that's going to allow for a nice surge of warmer air. So by Tuesday, it's going to be beautiful. High temperatures up around 50 degrees. Here's our next weather maker, but it's going to pull warm air northward, and it won't bring us any precipitation until about Wednesday, and by that time it's probably going to be in the form of rain. High temperatures tomorrow in the 40s, a few low 50s in the southwest corner of the state. You can see that warm air beginning to build to our west. Our forecast for tonight does call for maybe a shower early, otherwise foggy. Low temperature 28 to 33. Foggy to start your Monday morning and a temperature of 35 degrees. Then during the day tomorrow, we'll decrease the clouds, but probably not until the afternoon hours. It will be milder with high temperatures 43 to 48. Tomorrow night, expect mostly clear skies, lows of 27 to 32. And then on Tuesday, a lot of sunshine, very mild, high temperatures 48 to 53 degrees. Extended outlook as we look ahead to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as I wipe my brow as the sweat is pouring down my face. Highs in the 40s to near 50 degrees. A very wet period. And in case you're wondering why my face is
the
covered
wettest
with sweat,
meteorologist in the business
look
right
at
now.
this stuff.
You are just pouring.
Well, I almost forgot my mic. I had to run upstairs and get it. And
hole in the roof. Oh,
whew.
That's perspiration. Okay. St. Patty's Day weather there from F.A. O'Schwartz here on this fine day.
Thank you, Stanley. Don't touch the tie.
Fine Irish linen. Right? Right. Thank you. Dry off now. Okay, good job, Phil. All right, this weekend's Lotto America jackpot is gone, folks. It was won last night by somebody who bought a ticket in Wisconsin. We are still waiting to hear who won the $6.5 million prize. I hope we're related, whoever you are. Another 85 tickets matched 5 of the 6 numbers. Those players each get $994. Now, here are the numbers drawn last night: 7, 10, 34, 40, 41, and 52. Wednesday's jackpot goes back to $2 million. Coming up here next in sports, the Timberwolves hope to cool off the heat at the Target Center. Meanwhile, the NCAA tourney continues to heat up. Ed Cairo is in next to tell us who is in the Sweet 16 when Eyewitness News continues.
Ooh, forgot to add the softener sheet.
If only she knew about Solo. You can't forget the softener in Solo, because Solo is detergent and fabric softener in one. Look, these muddy sweatshirts came out clean, but Solo's clean is so soft, it's fluffed up higher. Next time,
I missed it.
get Solo. It cleans with a softness you can't forget.
It's morning, and another day. There are kids to get dressed, breakfast to be made. But for a few moments, you have a little time to think of what this is all about. What it's about is big people helping little people to be big themselves one day. It's not easy. But what else could you possibly do that could ever be so important? MJB wishes you a good morning and a wonderful day.
El Dorado, which I have driven the last several years, was one of the first cars to ever put in front-wheel drive. You get out of those little areas that you normally get stuck in with rear-wheel drive. I wouldn't even consider driving another car that didn't have front-wheel drive, and I would say that Cadillac El Dorado was one of the cars that pioneered that, and they must have done it just for Minnesota, because that is a godsend to a Minnesota driver.
America, it's here. USA Exercise Equipment, featuring the best selection of free weights and cardiovascular equipment for your home. Treadmills, recumbent bikes, air rowers, and the latest in stair climbers. The Twin Cities' largest selection of free weights with standard and Olympic plates, dumbbells, benches, and accessories. Plus, own this complete deluxe home workout gym for only $79 per month. Just north of Brookdale on Pass Lake Road in Xerxes Brooklyn Center and the corner of University and Vandalia's St. Paul.
Yep, it's all about Ohio and Indy, right?
Yes, it is.
Yep,
And you know Indy, boy, about this time of year. We're supposed to have it for 2 more years.
Right.
They're right
Right,
there.
got it.
We're talking, of course, Stan, about the only 2 Big Ten teams who have survived the Sweet 16 of the NCAA basketball tournament. Last night it was Indiana staying alive. This afternoon, Ohio State kept its season intact by holding off Georgia Tech. The Buckeyes gave Tech the fits all day. Jim Jackson drives, hits the jumper for 2 of his 16 points. Jackson and Mark Baker closed out the first half by playing beat the clock on this play coming up. Ohio State stays on the course, dropping Georgia Tech 65-61. And next up for the Buckeyes, of course, is St. John's. So let's go to the Midwest Regional, where St. John's knocks off Texas 84-76. It was North Carolina over Villanova 84-69. And in overtime, Eastern Michigan over Penn State 71-68. Well, out west, Michigan State and Utah were involved in a marathon of a game. The Spartans sent the game into second overtime when John Zuloff followed up on a missed free throw and got the bucket. But that is where the Spartans' luck ran out. Walter Watts with the jam. Utah osts Michigan State 85-84 in double OT. More scores. UNLV in the second half, pulling away now from Georgetown 38-27. These are finals. Arkansas by 7 over Arizona State, and it was Alabama 96 and Wake Forest 88 this afternoon. Well, the guy that led the Minnesota Gophers to the Final 8 last year reappeared this afternoon in the Twin Cities. Willie Burton and his Miami Heat teammates were in town for a matinee with the Timberwolves. Not much scoring in the early going, but the baskets were pretty. Pooh Richardson, a great pass back to Tyrone Corbin, who flies through with a jam. Wolves trailed by 2 after the opening quarter, making his return. Burton scored 13 points, including 2 on that pretty breakaway jam, but the Wolves' big guns pulled it out in the end. Pooh drops in a pair right there. He had 13, and the Wolves melt the Heat 90-87. Well, at the state girls AA high school final at Met Center last night, the Burnsville Braves beat Harding for the title, but it took overtime to do it, and free throws to win. Sheila Royale and Tiffany Trenkle shot 5 of them in the OT, the only points of that extra session, and Burnsville beat Harding 59-54 for the title. It was the 23rd win in 28 games for the Braves and their first Class AA state title since 1977. For the first round of the NCAA hockey playoffs for the Gophers in Providence has come down to a 1-game shootout tonight at Mariucci Arena. The Gophers drew even in the best-of-3 series last night. They pounded the Friars 8-4. After a lackluster performance on Friday night, Minnesota broke out early and often in last night's game. Ken Jernander completed a hat trick with that blast midway through the second period, and the Gophers held a 5-3 advantage after 2. And for good measure, Minnesota struck for another trio of goals in the third. Minnesota may have the momentum and the energy needed for tonight's series-ending game.
I'm not sure, how tired they are. I mean, it wasn't a tight game, so I mean, it's hard to tell where they were at. And I know they don't play quite as many lines. We play all 4 lines and 6D, so we're pretty confident that we're going to have, be fresh.
Well, I think their goaltending's got to be tired. We've peppered a lot of shots on them, but I'm sure they're going to be running on emotion. I'm sure they're going to give it all they got, but we'll just have to come out and play our game, and they're going to have to come out and play with us.
Well, as the Gophers have said, if first you don't succeed, try again, and that is what the North Stars are out to do tonight when they meet the Maple Leafs at Met Center. Last night, Toronto skated past the Stars 4-3 in overtime, kept their very slim playoff hopes alive. However, a victory tonight by the Stars would wrap up the final playoff spot in the Norris Division. Break up the Twins. They split their squad and won 2 games in Florida today, embarrassing the Phillies at Clearwater 13-4. The Twins pounded out 22 hits and jumped on 5 Philly errors in that Clearwater win. At Port Charlotte, Pat Howell had a single and a triple. Al Newman had a couple of hits in the other club's defeat of Texas. Those wins put the Twins' spring record at 10-1, and that is the best in the major league. Those guys are warm, warm, warm.
Great. Now, if we can get Kirby Puckett warm with the home run ball again.
Oh, yeah.
A little trouble with that last season.
And
get back,
get Herbie off the pizzas and on the ball.
That's right. Get the long ball flying out of there again.
To happen.
Good pitching core now. Promises to be a pretty decent
year. It really does.
After last year, we needed.
Jack Morris had a great day today, too. You know, when you play Pittsburgh, you've got to bat your pitcher, so he got to hit about 4 times today. Loved it.
All right.
Didn't do very well, but
all right. It's a great way to go in the regular season here soon. Thanks, you, Eddie. Well, the sight never seems to get old. The pictures of returning troops running into the arms of their loved ones. 3 airmen from the Air National Guard's 109th Aero Medical Unit arrived to applause at Twin Cities International Airport. Phil Hall was met by his wife, Sherry.
I'm really happy that everybody could make it here. I didn't believe it when we landed, but it's great to be home.
The airmen served as radio controllers for medical evacuation helicopters in Saudi Arabia. Just 10 miles, that was, from the Kuwaiti border. Welcome back, all of you people, and thank you. Philip, a little recap on the weather, sir.
Yeah, looks pretty good. An improving weather situation. We still have the fog to contend with. That will be with us tonight. Our forecast does call for the fog to continue. Maybe a brief shower early tonight with low temperatures around 30, maybe into the lower 50s by Tuesday.
And you are fair to mostly dry right now.
Now I am.
Thank you. See you tonight at 10 o'clock. Bye-bye.